Okay, so for assembly, I've got my my panels made. I have my accordions folded, and I am ready to start gluing them together. So you glue together the accordions and the frames first. Make sure that you're masking your paper. Okay, so I want to glue on this one. And what you do is you don't have to glue all the way into that panel. Your books should seat into that about that far. But you want to give some room for the glue to squish and squeeze out. Go ahead and start with the back panel. So it's important to remember which one the back panel is. Okay, and I'm going to seat it in that crease. And move on to my next. If I put the next panel on the very next peak here, it's going to be very tight. So I'm going to skip that. I like the design here. I could have made larger panels, but it will open more easily and further out if you skip one. And so I decided to make the panels a little bit shorter. I made them big the last time. And so I'm going to make them shorter and kind of skip one of the peaks and glue on to the next one. So again, get your mask out, especially now. This is where you can really do some damage. You're dealing with your finished product, your frames, you're dealing with glue. You really want to try to avoid making a mess of things. And the best way to do that is to, again, have a nice damp rag or paper towels right next to you, not overdo the glue, and kind of keep your fingers out of the way as best as possible. And then, of course, have masking paper so that when it goes over the edge, not if, when it goes over the edge, it is going to be caught by that instead of marking up the paper. Okay, so I'm going to seat this one, put it down. Mine has openings here, and I put the glue, over the entire panel, and so that's going to cause me a little bit of an issue right now when it comes to gluing this down and using my bone folder. But instead of, again, making a mess with all of that glue, I'm just going to let that glue dry. It'll be fine. It will give a different sheen. Or, of course, I could take my wet cloth and I could try to remove it if that's the best for your concept. For mine, it's not going to matter all that much and might actually provide a little bit of visual interest. But I can already see that I've got a lot more space between my back panel and the next one. Okay, and so my very front panel is going to go on here. I want to note that I do have, I've got this back panel. This is going to get glued straight down. I'm probably going to add another one to it so that it has more space from the back panel. But that one I can kind of cheat even in the later stages. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to glue this last one. Even on the last one here, you don't want to glue all the way to the edge. You want to leave enough room for the glue to spread out. And get some masking paper. Okay, and this is my front panel, and this is how my book ends, is with my front panel here. Some of you, your front panel will be board. Some of you will have board that's covered. Some of you will have a tunnel book that resembles this format. It really depends on your idea. Okay, and then another thing I want to mention is you want to go back and erase your pencil lines from when you marked out your accordion. Okay, so I can take this all away and kind of recompress this and take a look. Now when it opens up, it's got a lot more space in between, which is what I had intended originally. But I had just released, I had glued it all together a little too close. So I'm going to repeat for the opposite side and determine whether or not, excuse me, I want to add another panel. Fortunately, the first time that I made my panel, I already had excess and it's folded, so I could probably just cheat this and use that one panel on both sides and take care of that issue if I find that it's too far or too close to the very back panel. So when it's assembled, I'll have this nice depth going on.